If you cracked open a cold one this holiday weekend, it may have been a craft beer. A record number of breweries have opened this year. The main ingredient giving those complex beers their taste is the hops flower. For almost a century, the Pacific Northwest has dominated the hops market. But with the help of some state laws, farmers in the East are now trying to jump on board and strike it rich. Chip Reid met one of those farmers.
Keep going.
Tom Barse is a hops farmer.
These hops are Cascades, a little past their prime, but should be pretty intense.
The hop is the flower. Its oil gives beer its tangy taste and its aroma. Reaching up 18 feet high, harvest time can be an adventure.
Hold up, Dale.
After the plants come down, each flower is stripped from the leaves. You can do it by hand, but Barse does it with machines he designed and built with his own hands.
Bucket!
Barse was once a lawyer and then a high school teacher, but he finally discovered his true passion.
I don't like to leave the farm if I don't have to. It's like being on vacation every day.
He started growing hops 8 years ago and sold to local breweries. Back then, it was his only choice. But in 2012, he helped persuade the Maryland legislature to pass a law allowing farmers to make and sell their own beer, so long as some of the ingredients are grown on the farm.
This is the way we used to serve beer 100 years ago.
He opened a small brewery and business went wild.
Money-wise, the brewery is the profit center.
The profit center.
The profit center.
So how much of your profit is beer related?
I think the farm grossed about $320,000 last year, and about 300 of that was beer.
Come on, Chief.
That money helps his small farm survive, and it allows him to continue with less profitable operations.
So George Washington had this kind of sheep.
Yes.
Like raising his prized and very spoiled sheep for their wool.
You might not be able to do this otherwise.
Right. Well, I might have to go back to teaching.
Or lawyering, even worse.
Or even lawyering, that'd be worse.
What makes his business so profitable is the quality of his hops.
Smells great. What does that smell like to you?
Heaven.
Heaven.
Absolutely heaven.
And take it from me, the beer is pretty darn good too.
This is my favorite.
Oh, if it wasn't so strong, I could drink that all day.
How do you have time to farm?
It takes a lot of beer to farm. You know, it's hard work.
It's not just Maryland where hops are booming. Last year, 15 states had their first documented harvests in almost 100 years. New York passed a law to spur hops farming. It requires a farm brew to use at least 20% New York-grown hops. In 2024, it jumps to 90%. Farmers like Carmine Estevan are scrambling to spread their expertise.
I do think that we can keep up with the supply and demand. But we just got to keep it going, and by educating the farmers that they can grow hops.
In the 1800s, New York was the #1 producer of hops in the country and #2 in the world. Today, it has just 250 acres. That history gives hope to farmers like Bradley Nagel, who is learning from Estevan.
I think we can do something here. I think we'll be all right and be back where we were 100 years ago.
But back in Maryland, Barse told us he prefers the intimacy of a small family farm.
You want it to stay local.
We have a specialty cash crop on a small scale that can help a farmer increase his income, help support the family farm, get a few $1,000s extra to put in his pocket so he can buy that pig.
Or the alpaca.
Or the alpacas. And I love that model. I think that's the model that's going to allow us to be successful in the East.
A model that allows him to stay close to the land and to his new crop.
You kind of treat these like they're friends.
They're my babies.
For CBS This Morning, I'm Chip Reid.
Good. You got to like Mr. Barse's enthusiasm. It's infectious for what he does.
Yeah. Think about this. The non-Pacific Northwest gross is expected to be up 41% this year. I think that's fantastic.
That's nice.
Yeah.